Welcome to our show for January. Well, Ralph, new year, any resolutions?
My only resolution is not to make any resolutions that I will not keep.
I'm with you, pal. Okay, let's meet our first guest.
Today I'm with Chris Potts, who is a public services librarian at the Okemos branch of the Capital Area District Library. Welcome, Chris.
Thanks for having me.
Today we're going to talk about a subject near and dear to my heart, genealogy. I know you wear many hats at the library, Chris. Can you tell us about your job?
Well, my primary function there is obviously a public service librarian. That in itself is kind of a jack of all trades job, but my specialties lie into local history, genealogy, and technology.
History of Okemos?
Mm-hmm.
One day maybe we'll have to talk more about that.
I'd love to.
How does someone with an interest in family history get started?
In my opinion, the best place to start is by talking with your family. Any relatives that you may have living, even if they're of the same generation or maybe even younger, it's a great idea to talk to them because they will have a different perspective on the family and the dynamics than what you may have. So that's the best place to start, is kind of talking with your family.
From my own experience, they also have different bits and pieces of information that...
Absolutely.
If we're not computer savvy, can the library help us?
Absolutely. At the library, we have a lot of resources for genealogy, and the bulk of them are online. It's just the easiest way to keep all the information the same. We have a subscription to Ancestry.com through the library. So if you come into the library, you can use our account there. You can't access that part from home, but you can do it at the library.
Are there genealogy groups in the area?
There are a lot of genealogy groups in the area. Too many to list, unfortunately. I know we have one here at the Meridian Senior Center, and there's an Ingham County one, there's a Lansing one, there's the state level one, so the resources are out there if you just start asking.
Okay. I've been able to trace my family back to the mid-1600s. And I did find out that one of my relatives was hanged for committing adultery back in the late 1800s in Western Oregon. I also have relatives who have participated in all of the wars back to the American Revolution. That's interesting pieces you find out. Have you found anything interesting about your family?
Oh, absolutely. There's characters in every generation. My own family I've traced back to the early 1500s out of London. I have the ship name that they came over on and everything like that. But one of the most interesting characters I have in my family is where I have a particular roadblock at the moment. On my paternal side, my great-great-grandmother had been married 4 times. She went by her first name, her middle name, and all 4 middle names and every combination in between.
Hard to track.
So it's extremely hard to track because her name was Elizabeth Miranda, so she went by Elizabeth, Eliza, Lizzie, Miranda, Randy, and then all 4 names that she was married under. So that has been a particularly hard portion to track through my family.
Thanks for being with us today, Chris.
Absolutely.
Don't go away. Senior Living will be right back.
January is Hospice Awareness Month, and I'm here today with Heather Febres Correro.
Thank you
Close
for having
enough, I
me.
hope.
Yeah, beautiful.
So she's the Community
Relations and Marketing Director of Hospice of Lansing.
Okay, good. You know, I know there's a lot of hospice groups out there. Can you tell us a little bit about Hospice of Lansing?
Sure, absolutely. Well, let me talk about hospice as a service in general, and then I'll tell you a little bit about what makes Hospice of Lansing special specifically. So hospice is a service that helps people when they're in their final journey of their life. And it is a service that goes wherever people call home. So whether they're in a professional care community, whether they're still in their own home or they're in their family's home, the hospice is a team that goes in and provides care, comfort, and support with an emphasis on comfort over curative care. It's most utilized when the curative measures of medical care are at their end and they're no longer providing the benefit to the person who is seeking care that they need. So hospice comes in with an emphasis on comfort to just really allow our loved ones to enjoy their final days, weeks, or months of their life with us.
I have some experience with hospice, and I found it to be a great comfort to the family as well as the person. So what makes Hospice of Lansing so special?
Well, Hospice of Lansing is truly a community gem. It started about 30 years ago, and it was our first hospice in the area. So Hospice of Lansing is the only nonprofit, community-based, Medicaid-certified hospice in the area. So we have a very consistent team of medical and mental health professionals to just really wrap around our loved ones and our families during their time of vulnerability. And we come in as a team. We come in as a team with your family, so that we're really working in teamwork to provide the comfort in the way that is most suited to your needs. And so it's definitely a team that I'm incredibly proud of, and I love representing this team of professionals, because not only is the medical care just above and beyond, but so is the heart, and so is the emphasis on community and individuals.
Well, I visited your beautiful Stoneleigh residence,
Yes.
and can you tell us a little bit about that?
Absolutely. You know, as I said, hospice is a service that follows you wherever you call home. And at some point, sometimes people need more than a service that their care facility or that their home is able to provide. So Stoneleigh Residence is a beautiful 8-bed facility where people are able to go and receive around-the-clock medical care attention specifically suited to their medical needs during their last days with us.
And I heard some of them bring pets as well.
Yes, we're all about comfort. We're all about what you need to make you feel your best. And if that means bringing your fur baby, as some people say, or bringing in pictures from your home, everything is able to be modified to your specifications and your preferences.
Now, some people really, I think, hesitate to call hospice. Why should they not be so afraid to call? What's that about?
You know, we hear it again and again. Oh, I wish I would have known about this sooner.
Yeah.
I wish I would have known about this sooner. Hospice of Lansing was able to provide so much comfort, was able to relieve so much stress from our caregivers. I wish I would have called earlier. So something that we really like to relay to the community is that hospice is a service that's covered by Medicare, Medicaid, many insurances, and it's something that can be utilized for quite a long period of time. So if people were worried, they're saying, maybe this is just me giving up. No, it's not just you giving up. It's a different emphasis on the care, from curative to comfort. And many times, people, when they come on our service, they actually stabilize from not being shuttled back and forth, from being in an environment that provides that consistent comfort and that consistency of medical attention. So if people did have questions about eligibility, I would very much encourage them to consider Hospice of Lansing a resource, because we are from the community. That's how we sprouted up, and we are definitely for the community.
Well, I can recommend hospice services in general in my own family. They've been very, very helpful. And I think people can know, too, you can go off hospice if you... Sometimes people do that if they should rally.
Sometimes people rally, absolutely. And we're there for families in all those scenarios. So if they had questions, you know, sometimes people rally, they graduate from our services, and that's a wonderful day.
Yeah.
Sometimes we continue with them through the very last moments of their life. In addition to that, we offer support for our families. There are bereavement options available that follow our family members to their level of comfort, because we don't want to intrude. But support is available for our families that have gone through the hospice experience with us.
Good. Good to know there are bereavement services that you do offer.
Absolutely, and something that I'd like to highlight, as a nonprofit community organization, our bereavement services are open to anybody in the community. Oftentimes, we all experience loss at some point or another, and sometimes we just need a little bit of extra TLC, a little bit of tender, loving care. As our non-denominational chaplain told me, she said, grief is love that sometimes cannot be expressed in the manner that we'd like to express it or to the person we'd like to express it to. So with our bereavement services and our team, we're able to find a way to express that love in a way that's healing to us and in turn healing to our community.
Well, I think it's helpful to be under hospice because then you have one doctor rather than, 3 or 4 who don't always talk to each other, and they can really, I think that's why people often rally for a while when they're on hospice.
That's exactly
because their care is more centralized. And it's just nice for the family to know what to expect.
Our team members, as I already told you, I'm so proud of them, but they truly do become like family. You see the same nurse, she comes in and she visits you. You see the same nurse's assistant, she comes in and she helps with some hygiene items or light housekeeping. You see the social worker who will sit down with you and really address some of your concerns that are often above and beyond medical. We see our loved ones, we see our residents as an entire human experience, and we understand that this journey is part of the human condition.
Right.
So within our culture, we try to normalize the experience and make it less scary because it doesn't have to be.
Right.
At every point in our life, we have benchmarks, and all of them are worthy of celebration. And our passing is such a beautiful journey that is very special. It is deserving of celebration, and it can bring a lot of resolution to our lives and the lives of our loved ones.
Thank you so much, Heather. You've given us a lot of good information.
Thank you.
We'll be right back. Last month, Ralph and I attended a luncheon and we heard a local musician that we both really enjoyed, and so we thought we'd ask him to be on the show. So I'd like you to meet Alex Mendenall.
Thank you for having me.
Now, you're a local guy from?
From Mason originally, and I live in Lansing now.
Good for you. And how long have you been playing the guitar?
I started playing the guitar my freshman year at Michigan State, so I guess it'd be 5 or so years, 6 years.
Wow. And now you do this full time, huh?
Yep. Yes, I do.
So if people want to hire you, they can.
Yeah.
So what kind of things do you do?
I do everything from birthday parties to, I do play original shows. I've played across most of the United States, and so I do everything in between that too.
Good for you. Good for you. It's a hard road to be a musician and make a go of it. So, and you write your own music?
I do write my own music, yeah. I actually just recently released my first full-length album, which I'm really excited about, just last month.
Good for you. So you're going to play one original piece?
Yeah.
Okay, and one oldie?
Yeah. Oldie but a goodie.
Okay,
Yeah.
all
this
right,
Is
let's-
this is a song called Perspective.
Okay, well, let's listen.
Dreams don't bother me because they are only a figment of fiction's imagining. But seems the reality is less of a matter of fact, more a product of what we think. So what do you think? Don't cry about the clouds, and don't let conditions outside your control ever get you down. Just try to smile somehow, and watch your concern melt away and your day brighten all around. And take you off the ground. It's funny we see most everything is a universal truth, and most of what we think we know is just based on point of view. Take a little time to free up your mind, and you'll find it's all subjective. Troubles come, but then they go. So all we really need is perspective. Perspective. The grass is always green when you begin to read all of those lines written in between. In fact, all that is seen is just approximations our minds make when the light convenes. You see what I mean? It's funny we see most everything is a universal truth, and most of what we think we know is just based on point of view. But take a little time to free up your mind, and you'll find it's all subjective. Troubles come, but then they go. So all we really need is perspective. Perspective. It's funny we see most everything is a universal truth, and most of what we think we know is just based on point of view. But take a little time to free up your mind, and you'll find it's all subjective. Troubles come, but then they go. So all we really need is perspective. Perspective, just a little perspective. Perspective.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I like your message. Perspective is certainly something we all need, but it can be very hard to find sometimes. So
Exactly, yes.
I like it. What are you going
Thank
to
you.
play next?
Well, I think I'll go ahead and do one of your favorites, Johnny Cash tune.
Oh, Ring of Fire?
Ring of Fire, yeah.
Love is a burning thing, and it makes a fiery ring, bound by wild desire. And I fell into a ring of fire. I fell into a burning ring of fire. I went down, 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 and the flames went higher, and it burns, burns, burns. The ring of fire, the ring of fire. The taste of love is sweet when hearts like ours meet. I fell for you like a child, but the fire went wild. I fell into a burning ring of fire. I went down, 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 and the flames went higher. And it burns, 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 the ring of fire, the ring of fire. I fell into a burning ring of fire. I went down, 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 and the flames, they went higher. And it burns, 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 the ring of fire, the ring of fire, the ring of fire, the ring of fire, the ring of fire.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
One of my favorites. Thanks so much for being with us,
Thanks
Alex.
for having me. Had a blast.
Okay, we'll be back after this. It was a busy show today, Ralph. When you were talking with Chris Potts from the library, it brought back to mind the cemetery tour that we took one summer of central Iowa when you were looking for your ancestors. You found some kind of unexpected things there, remember?
Yes, I found the grave of my great-great-grandmother accidentally, but I happened to be walking through a cemetery and there was this name and I dug deeper and it turned out to be her grave
Yeah.
in Frederica, Iowa.
Your family is originally from Iowa.
Yes.
And both sides, if I recall?
Yes.
Okay. So that's why I guess we had to take that trip to Iowa.
Well, at one time, my family history said the city of Owine land was donated by a member of the family. So that summer, that's what I was researching.
But we found out that wasn't.
We found out that wasn't true, yes.
Interesting. Okay, well, I guess that's our show for today. Stay warm. Oh, and I should remind you, the Senior Center is a warming center when we're open. So keep that in mind. See you next month.